On June 5th, 1925, Tom Gibbons, brilliant heavyweight boxer, takes on the fast-rising young Marine, Gene Tunney. We're looking at Gene 2 weeks before the fight. Here's seen running in the center while flanked on both sides by two of his sparring mates. Tunney has been running 15 miles a day and is in great physical condition for this big test. Gene has been absolutely tireless in his training routine. He says that he feels he could go 30 rounds without letting up for an instant. Never was there a fighter more ready for a supreme effort. As we switch over to Gibbons' training camp, we see a man who is one of the great heavyweight boxers of all time. Tom has been training for 10 weeks and says that he's as fit as he's ever been in his life and that he's tremendously confident of beating Tunney. Let's go back 6 years and take a brief look at the finals of the AEF Light Heavyweight Championship in France in 1919. This young Marine, Joseph Eugene Tunney, facing camera, has defeated 20 opponents in an elimination series staged throughout France. He's fighting Ted Jamison, and the winner to be crowned American-European Forces Light Heavyweight Champion. This rare, never-before-shown motion picture reveals to the boxing authority a harbinger of great things to come. 1 week after winning this fight, a special 4-round bout between Gene Tunney and Bob Martin, heavyweight AEF champion, was staged in this same ring. Tunney, to the surprise of no one, defeated Martin in this exhibition bout. Now back to the morning of June 5th, 1925, and we're looking at the weigh-in. Gibbons scales 179.5, and Tunney 183 3/4. 6 hours later, Tunney is first to enter the ring in this most important stepping stone to the World's Heavyweight Championship. A few moments later, Gibbons steps through the ropes and walks over to shake hands with the young opponent who has been made a 5-3 favorite in tonight's fight. Regardless, Tom is confident he'll win. Joe Humphreys announces the weights of both men. Photographers ask the two fighters to pose and to shake hands. They obligingly go through the motions, but both men are understandably tense. Seated in his corner, Gibbons waits confidently. Across the ring, Tunney looks equally sure of himself. As round one gets underway, Gene doesn't waste any time using that left hand like a rapier. Gibbons is going to have to pursue his younger opponent. He knows that it's going to take an accurate head and body attack to slow down the brilliant boxing ex-Marine. Gibbons has certainly got his work cut out for him, as he's a 34-year-old veteran compared to the 27-year-old Gene Tunney, who is considered to be in the very prime of his great career. Gibbons turned professional in 1911 and has had 106 professional fights in the past 14 years, winning 104 and losing only 2. This is one of the most fantastic records in the history of boxing. Tom has fought 3 no-decision contests with the great Harry Greb. During that period of time, the only way a fighter could win was by the knockout route. If both fighters were standing on their feet at the end of 10 rounds, there was no decision rendered. But after those 3 fights with Harry Greb, newspapermen were unable to agree whether Greb or Gibbons had won on points. That's how close they were. Round 1 draws to a close with Tunney getting the edge on his relentlessly accurate jab. In rounds 2 and 3, Tunney continued to circle and move. His jab and straight right hand landed often enough to carry both rounds. Here in round 4, Gene takes on somewhat of a different strategy. Notice how it's Tunney who is now moving forward. He has apparently decided to step up the pace. This is a surprise to everyone. It was thought that Gibbons, a marvelous boxer himself, would have to chase the younger Tunney. But it's Gene out-punching Gibbons at the rate of 3 and 4 to 1. That sharp left jab of Tunney's is constantly keeping Tom off balance. Gene isn't letting Tom get any type of an attack underway. Tunney turned professional in 1915 at the tender age of 17. Even then, he was 6 feet 1/2 inch tall and weighed 170 pounds. He had 15 professional fights, winning all, prior to joining the Marines in 1919. After winning all types of boxing honors during his service career, Gene came out of the Corps and took up where he left off. In 1920, he had 12 professional prize fights, winning them all, 9 by KOs. In round 5, Gibbons came back with an excellent body attack, which won him the round. But in round 6, the young ex-Marine came on strong with jabs and counters, which clearly gave him a decided edge. Here in round 7, the pattern of the fight has been set. Tunney, younger, stronger, and very much the faster of the two, is applying all of the pressure. His jolting straight left and hard rights to the body are definitely weakening the veteran Gibbons. Notice the quick cat-like moves of Gene. He's always in perfect balance, able to throw punches from any position with unnerving accuracy. Tom Gibbons has a very famous brother, Mike, who was one of the cleverest middleweights who ever lived. Tom has patterned his fighting style after that of his greatly talented brother. Tom also started his career as a middleweight, but as he grew and put on additional poundage, he found himself fighting and whipping all of the better light heavyweights and heavyweights in professional boxing. As round 7 draws to a close, it's clearly another round for Gene Tunney, who is punching all of the way. The 8th was another big Tunney round. Gene demonstrated supreme confidence. Notice how Gene, here in round 9, never lets up, never stops the constant pressure he's putting on Gibbons. This is exactly the type of battle Tunney fought 10 months ago, when he knocked out Georges Carpentier in 15 rounds. Gene applied the same relentless pressure, knocking the Frenchman down 4 times before scoring the KO. Watch closely as Gibbons steps in with a left to the body. Tunney sidesteps and Tom is hurled into the ropes, but bounces off, ready for action. Undoubtedly, Tom's greatest feat took place 2 years ago on July 4th, 1923, when he challenged heavyweight champion Jack Dempsey at Shelby, Montana, under a blistering sun. The scheduled 15-round fight went the distance, and after 15 thrilling rounds, heavyweight champion Dempsey's hand was raised in victory as he earned a hard-fought decision from the man they called the master boxer, Tom Gibbons. Tonight's contest is the most important fight in Tunney's career. Heavyweight champion Jack Dempsey hasn't fought in 2 years, since knocking out Louis Angel Firpo in 1923. Promoter Tex Rickard has promised Gene a chance at the heavyweight title next year, providing he can get by Gibbons. While he was in training, Tunney was imperturbable. He had his mind set on only one goal, that of fighting Tom Gibbons and then fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Newspapermen reported they had never seen such a determined training program that Tunney personally outlined for himself. They felt that there was a possibility that Gene could be overtrained and become stale before the fight. Gene's answer to his critics was that he knew best what it took to get himself ready physically and mentally. Here in round 11, Tunney is in complete control. The referee begins to show concern as Gibbons is noticeably weak and taking hard punches to the head. Tunney is giving Gibbons a terrible beating. See the flood of punches that are all finding their way to the target. Lefts and rights to the body and jaw, each further weakening the veteran Gibbons. Three years ago, Gene fought battling Levinsky in New York City for the American Light Heavyweight Championship. 4 months later, he lost the title, which was also his first and only loss as a professional to the great Pittsburgh windmill, Harry Greb. 9 months later, in 1923, they met in a return match, but this time it was Tunney all the way, and Gene re-won the American Light Heavyweight Championship. Greb didn't believe that this young boxer could beat him twice, so 3 more times, in 1923, 24, and 25, Greb attempted to get that title back, but each time he was beaten more decisively by Tunney's magnificent boxing. As round 11 nears its end, it appears to be just a question of whether Gibbons can go the 15-round distance. Here in the beginning of round 12, Tunney has taken complete command over the aging veteran Tom Gibbons. Gene is showing the strength and confidence which has carried him to 76 victories in 77 professional prize fights. It's all Tunney now. Jabs, hooks, straight right hands. Gibbons is reeling under the constant pressure. Gene steps in and lands a tremendous right-hand punch to the jaw, flooring Gibbons for the first time in his professional career. The referee's count reaches 8. Tunney moves in quickly and lands 2 smashing right hands to the head, which put Gibbons down for the second time. Tunney goes to a neutral corner as the referee moves in to toll the final 10. As Gibbons gets to his feet, Tunney moves in to console and congratulate his dejected opponent. 15 months later, this same Gene Tunney will become the 8th heavyweight champion of the world by dethroning the great Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Gene will later retire undefeated and go down in boxing history as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.